So for Christmas this year, I got the Smoke Daddy Incorporated cold smoking unit. It's called the Big Kahuna. It's a cylinder right within here that holds about, 2 cups of wood, not pellets, but chips. They said it's better to use the chips because they burn more efficient. I had to drill 1.1/16 hole through here, and the fitting goes through. It puts some tension on there, and then that tube feeds through and you have all your smoke, along with an aerator that comes down through here with like a fish tank pump that I can adjust my airflow. This whole unit took me, probably 15 minutes to install in the back of my smokehouse. I brought it out here, put my wood chips inside, and I lit the fire up underneath this unit here. You unscrew this, you take off this cap, you put your torch underneath there, and it took me like 30 seconds to get it to light. I put my aerator on the lowest setting, and literally like 15 seconds I had this much cold smoke rolling through my smokehouse. I've got some cheeses. I just went to the store and got some cheeses that I'm going to do some cold smoke on those today. It produces no heat inside here whatsoever, and the little heat that it might produce won't matter to me anyway on cheese, because as long as it doesn't reach 90 degrees on your cheeses, on most cheeses, you should be just fine. So I'm going to give this a go, and I will check in here in a little bit. Okay, so I've got my cheeses ready to go in the smokehouse, cold smoking today. My family and I, we prefer Tillamook as a cheese, so I've got some Swiss here. I've got sharp cheddar. We prefer a pepper jack, so I bought a bigger loaf of the pepper jack and just cut it down. You want to make sure your pieces are small enough to where they can take a nice smoke, and then that way you don't have a big huge loaf on here, because when you're done, we're going to wrap these, let them set for a while, up to a couple days, 3 days before you want to eat them. So then all the oils and stuff in the cheese just soak right in, and then that smoke flavor goes all the way through the cheese and not just on top. Also did a Havarti wild garlic. It's a softer cheese, but I'm not worried about time, because with the cold smoke, it's only going to penetrate it for as long as you keep it on the rack. So I'm going to start it off about an hour, check it after an hour, see how my color looks, see if I need to do any rotating, moving it around. Usually you shouldn't have to with an aerated rack like I've got here. So I'm going to go put it on, and we'll see how the smokehouse looks too. Okay, so I'm back outside now. I'm going to open up the smokehouse. Not worried about releasing anything, because it's just going to sit here and produce smoke. I mean, look at that. I just can't believe how much smoke this is producing. I think I forgot to tell you, I prefer like a fruit wood, so I'm doing an apple chip today. Some people like a hickory, some like a mesquite. I don't like that heavy of a smoke on my cheeses, so I prefer a nice fruit wood. You could do a cherry, you can do an apple. I use a lot of apple wood when I smoke my meats, cheeses, everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide this in here. I'm going to mark the time when I go into the house. You can see that the tray is evenly spread out. If you look right down through here, here's where my outlet is for my new cold smoker. You see it's just bellowing out of there. And actually right now I turned off the fish aerator, fish tank aerator, to see exactly what kind of smoke I'd produce without it. And you can see that it does a great job, just by itself. I did open up my side vents on my smoker. On both sides I have this style, and then on top, obviously I don't have one that I can adjust my flue up here, but it just goes all the way through. What I wanted to make sure is that I had enough fresh air along with my smoke. That way you don't get a heavy bark on your cheese. You want enough fresh air to keep it from getting bitter on your cheese as well. So I recommend just checking your individual smoker, and letting things work its way through, and knowing your smoker and how it smokes, to where you can get a good flavor on your cheese. Obviously it's going to be trial and error. This is my first time using this cold smoke unit that I bought, so we'll see how it works out. We'll check in about an hour. Okay, so I've shaken the cheese out of the smoker. As you can see, it's turned out really nice. It's kind of hard to tell by the video, but it actually does have a really good smoke ring around the cheese. Like I said, it's about an hour and a half of full smoke, cold smoke. Every pallet's going to be a little bit different, so maybe judge your own time on your smoking to your own taste. The sharp cheese, you can see, I don't think it's as heavy of the smoke ring around it because it is a sharp, but I can tell you from past experiences that the sharp cheese is one of my favorites when it comes to the smoked cheese. Another thing you'll notice is that with nothing but a cold smoke on a 45-degree day is that you get no sweat at all from the cheese. No oils or anything have left the cheese. So you get a really intense flavor from the smoke on the exterior of the cheese. So what you're going to want to do now is you don't want to let your cheese stand for too long on its own. You don't want it to aerate out. You want to encapsulate all that flavor that you can. So what I do is I have a food saver, and then so I just take it and I do them individually so that you can just do them as a serving size. I'll take it right now, put it inside the food saver bags, and then I'll refrigerate it for like 3 days before I'll eat it again. I did sample a couple pieces off of it, and it's a really intense flavor right off the bat. So if you do take a piece of your cheese and you eat it right off the bat, just know that it'll calm down. It'll tame itself down a little bit when it starts infusing itself, throughout the entire piece or block of the cheese. I've never frozen cheese before. I don't know if it'll work out very well, but you could try it. I made this all for our New Year's Eve party that we're going to have, so I'll be eating this by the end of the week. So that's why I'm going to put it in the food saver and then refrigerate it. So good luck to you. Let me know how things go. Maybe comment if you can, and let me know how it freezes for you, and then that way I'll know. All right, thanks.